Hey guys, welcome back to Mate with Morleys, your channel for all things caravanning, getting outdoors with the kids, helping you to get the most from your caravan and inspire you to get away. And this is at the end of our weekends away in the Bailey, is it not?
It is, yes.
And this is our summary of the Phoenix 650. So we'll run you through some of the specifications, some of the interior and exterior features, and then at the end of that we'll go through the things that we like and we don't like. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. So the Bailey Phoenix 650 was launched in the summer of 2018. This is a 5-berth caravan. The shipping length is just under 7.4 metres. The width is 2.2 metres or 7'3". It has an MTPLM of 1,388 kilograms. A mass in running order of 1,225, giving you a payload of 165 kilos. And starts at around £18,500. Now there are some optional extras that you can also bolt onto that price. The Alco ATC trailer control system, the Truma iNet system, which allows you to control the caravan's heating through the Truma app, where you can control temperature, water, temperature, fuel source, fan, and also get some feedback from the battery voltage. Other optional extras include a dressing pack, which gives you some additional throws, some cushions, some washroom carpet, and adds a bit of colour and spice to the inside of the caravan. Bespoke bedding pack also sets off the caravan nicely and allows you to have a bespoke bedding for the caravan.
Yeah, that's quite handy, the bespoke bedding pack, particularly for kids' bunk beds, because obviously a normal quilt is massive.
Yeah.
That's something that I would like. We didn't have one on this, but...
No, if we were going to buy a caravan again,
Yeah.
that would be something we would be interested in,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? On the near side, there is flap for the electrics. There is an external locker at the front, which also houses the spare wheel. On the off side, we've got water in, we've got the boiler flue. There is an external locker for the gas bottles. There is also the toilet, and there is an external locker at the back of the caravan, which goes underneath the bunk. The Bailey Phoenix 650 also comes fitted with alloy wheels as standard, including a locking wheel nut. Of course, we have an awning light, which is very, very bright. There's a security data chip within the caravan construction, so additional security and beefed up security there, along with Chris ID number on all windows and on the inside of the gas locker. So that's the outside done and dusted with. Now Kate's going to run you through some of the features on the inside.
Okay, so the lounge is obviously kind of standard, I suppose, construction of seats. So you've got 2 sofas either side, which obviously makes up into a double bed or 2 singles, with your cupboard up front with a little pull-out table and 2 drawers.
Yep.
So the window obviously is a nice feature of the lounge as well. So it has a huge picture window. Picture window, is that what you'd call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so big window up the front, which is nice.
So the colour of the wood at the front here is Bailey classes their eucalyptus finish. All of the Bailey models come with this huge up and over window at the front, which lets in loads and loads of light, and it feels light and airy and roomy, doesn't it, at the front?
Yeah.
It's quite a nice, pleasant place to go. There are also spotlights at either end, and we also do have, or we have discovered, Bailey's biggest kept secret, which is the switch for the 2 lights in the skylight here, which we'll show in another shot. We couldn't work out where on earth that light switch was. Other additional features around the front here, we've got LED lighting above the units, which sets it off really quite nice. We have an inbuilt radio as well. There is a socket just down the corner of the chest of drawers, but that isn't where your TV point is, which we'll come back to shortly.
Okay, so in the kitchen there's a 4-burner Thetford hob and a oven and grill, also Thetford. Then the worktops, obviously, because that's the gas bottle is stored externally under where your sort of cupboards and things are. So actually the worktops are big. It's
quite deep, isn't it?
Yeah, deep because of having that, and I found that particularly handy. A small sink with a square sink with a washing up bowl that has a chopping board
and a drainer.
And a drainer. Yeah, the heaviest
it's the
sink bowl.
It's the heaviest bowl you'll ever find in a caravan.
It's not that heavy, but for the size of the bowl, and you pick it up, you're like, that's heavy.
Yeah, it does come across as quite heavy, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah. Fridge. So on the opposite side to your to the hob and cooker, you've got the fridge. So that's a
103 litre Dometic fridge, which is bigger than you think, isn't it? It will swallow quite a lot of food. So we were only away for a couple of nights at a time, but if you were away for any extended period of time, you probably wouldn't have many trouble, you know. It's big enough to it's big enough to cope. One thing I haven't written down in our notes, which we've got here, is that there is also a cutlery drawer, which is a big plus for us. We haven't got one of those in our caravan, and it does make for sorting out cutlery or storing those things and easy access. Brilliant.
Yeah. Then there's a microwave, which also was great for us, and above which is a small cupboard, which we found handy for putting drinks and stuff in. Obviously above the fridge, which is where the microwave is, there's another big worktop, another deep worktop to use, although...
That is where your television point is.
Goes. Yeah, so it depends how you use it.
Yeah, how you utilise the space. Other thing we just wanted to mention, there is no flap for the edge of the worktop. We didn't really feel like we were struggling for space, were we? For a family of 5, we were able to prepare food. Obviously, if you did have your television above the fridge, that may obstruct you a little more. If you buy some dealer specials, they do have the optional extra of having a flap just at the edge of the worktop, so you can lift that up and give yourself a bit extra yard space. A couple of other things that were the Caravan comes standard supplied with a carbon monoxide alarm and also a smoke alarm. The smoke alarm is horrendously sensitive.
Yeah, if you open the door and the wind blows in it, it goes off. So that frequently went off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
also above the fridge is where you will find the control panel, where you access the master on-off switch, the water pump, those sorts of things, light switches.
Yeah. So moving on to the back of the bunk. No. Moving on to the back of the Caravan, there are 2 bunks, which are a good size. Often you find bunks in caravans are quite narrow. I think that they're quite wide, although I'm not sure. The bottom bunk didn't really want to take your weight, did it, when you sat to read Live? It is heavy. They do only say, I think it's about 75 kilograms.
Kilos, yeah, that's more than enough for kids and most adults, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
but
teenagers.
Yeah,
would
for
be
somebody
fine.
of my size, that's a bit light.
Yeah. So and then there's a small dinette at the back on the opposite side of the bunks, which converts into a bed as well. That's your 5th person's bed, and that's a good size and sturdy bunk. Even you could lie on that bed bunk.
So if you're a family of 4 and you wanted to use the bunks, it's perfect because you've got a place at the back of the Caravan for the children to be able to colour, do puzzles, play, that sort of thing. Obviously with the family of 5 you need to use that as a bed, so we would probably, if we're on an extended trip away, we would leave that set up and they would have to use the table at the front or in the awning. Above all of the bunks and also on the side dinette there is a reading light, an LED reading light, one of which has got a USB charger point for charging electrical devices. At the back there's also some over cupboard LED lights. Okay, so moving on now to the rear of the Caravan, to the bathroom and the end washroom. It is a separate toilet and shower configuration, and there is also a huge wardrobe down the back. Now this for us is one of the outstanding features of this particular Caravan. Now you have to remember that we've come from a Caravan by where we don't really use the bathroom very much other than to brush your teeth in. It's the configuration that we have is just not suitable for us to shower in. Now by having a separate toilet and a separate shower here, and it's a big size shower, it does open up a whole lot of features for a different type of holiday. The last site we went to last weekend was a tiny little CL by where there was no other facilities on site. There wasn't even a toilet. There was chemical waste disposal point, water and drainage point, but there was no facilities for us to use. And when you have a Caravan like this, and that is this useful for you and in this layout, it's perfect. So it opens up a whole nother world of Caravan, is what we kind of feel. Now unfortunately I've got to finish this short little review because Kate's had to nip inside to tend to the kids, so unfortunately we're going to have to sort of summarise all of the defining features that we both liked for both of us. And one thing we haven't mentioned so far is the storage situation in this Caravan. It was one of Kate's things that she first thought when we went into this Caravan at the launch, that she wondered how you would get on doing an extended trip away with the amount of storage that is on offer, and it really surprised us. The lockers are really big. There's shelving in most of them, so you can get things in there. There's loads and loads of space for you to put stuff when you've arrived on site and maybe unpacking, and that was a really nice surprise for us. You can access underneath the bunk at the back. You can put stuff under there. There is external access there, and then obviously you can of course put stuff underneath the seats as well. And as I mentioned, the wardrobe at the back is particularly big. So what did we really like about the Phoenix 650, and what were some of the things that we'd like to see improved? For us, the layout. The layout of this Caravan is far and above the layout that we've currently got. It works much better for us. We really like having the end washroom as opposed to the bathroom on the side. We feel it opens out the Caravan much more, and combined with the huge window at the front, it does let in loads and loads of light. But the other major thing is the heating system. The Truma, the up-to-date Truma system with the dual fuel, really is one of the defining features of the Caravan. Certainly with the, if you were to upgrade to the iNet system and be able to control the temperature of the Caravan remotely, that for us really is a real game changer there. That you can be out, you can check the voltage of the battery if it's in storage. Now I turned the heating on the drive here about 20 minutes before we came in to film this, and it was nice and warm. So they're the many positives about the Caravan. What are some of the downsides, or some of the things we'd like to see changed? Now, the one thing that would be nice would be to have the spare wheel carried underneath the Caravan. There is an option where you can have that fitted, and it just gives you a little bit more space at the front. The other thing, and this is relatively strange, is that because there's no front locker and your gas bottles go on the axle, which makes perfect sense for stability purposes because you have the weight over the axle, and a gas bottle is pretty heavy certainly when it's full, or if you've got two and you're carrying a spare because you're maybe doing lots of off-grid or whatever, is that it's quite difficult if you utilise the space within the Caravan to get a good nose weight. I found that I measured the nose just after, you know, we'd sort of packed away, and we were down at like 50 kilos, which is really light. Great having a big wardrobe at the back, but just bear in mind that obviously you're affecting the weight distribution of the Caravan, and you might be a bit nose light. So just one of those things to just make sure you're aware of is double check that nose weight before you're going away, because we found that was one thing that for us trying to balance was actually fairly tricky, and we did have to move quite a lot of stuff forward to get a good nose weight. The external electric hookup socket is a strange configuration. It's externally mounted, so you have a flap up, which means when you push the cable in, it's just sort of all sticking up and looks a bit untidy really. I'm not entirely sure how you could possibly change that so that it's sat a bit neater, but obviously that would be in your awning. Finally, the TV point, which is meant to be situated above the fridge. For us that doesn't kind of work out. If this was our Caravan, I would certainly explore the possibility of moving it towards the front. Now at the front, next to the chest of drawers, by the front window, there is a blanking plate next to the socket, so you could potentially swap them round and utilise the blanking plate over by the door, and also pop that in there. It may be a bit of a pig to chase in all the wires and reroute it, but that for us would be the better spot for the television. It's a shame because you've got that massive window at the front there which would block the view. It doesn't kind of work for us, I don't think, it being over the fridge. And kind of on that note really, if you were going to have the television where it's intended, why not have the front area, the locker, the front area where the chest of drawers is, why not have that as an option to take that out and to put a cushion? Because you can then, for a family of 5, get more people around and look in that direction where the television is. Anyway, let us know what you think. So that kind of brings us to the end of this short series. So if you like this short series, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. Hit the thumbs up if you liked it, hit subscribe if you've not already done so, and hit the bell notification to be alerted to when we next upload. Also, let us know any comments. What do you think about the Phoenix 650? Is it something you would consider? How would the layout work for you as a family? We'd appreciate your thoughts. So thanks very much for watching. I'll say on behalf of Kate, bye, and we'll see you soon on another series of videos and adventures away. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.